Well, today we have our first taste of PSG since we've arrived at Lens, and we're going to be doing it while we're on some patchy form, which is not the greatest time to be doing it. Hello and welcome back to Unemployed to Legend, Club 3 Episode 4 with RC Lens. My name is Craig, and coming up in today's episode we do have that game against PSG coming up. We also have an away game against relegation threatened FC Metz in Ligue 1. And since you're last with me, as you can see from the screen, the form has been a bit hit and miss. We've only had 2 wins in the last 5. We've been dumped out of the French Cup by that same team, FC Metz, which was very annoying because it was our own mistakes which cost us that match. We weren't direct enough with the ball. We were just constantly passing it around with each other, and then they nicked the ball off of us and scored a winner. Very, very annoying. That was in the 92nd minute as well. So disappointing. We didn't go on a better cup run in maybe getting into a semi-final or final perhaps, but we'll go again next season, assuming we finish the season strongly and we're still here next season. Remember, my adaptability on my profile is like 3 out of 20, so it's going to be an interesting slog to try and get that up and make sure that I actually perform well in League On. But of course we did win our last match against Angers, who are also relegation threatened alongside Metz, and that means in League On we find ourselves somehow in 7th place. We're in a race for the Europa Conference League currently. In fact, if I just check, so 7th place is the Europa Conference League, depending on the winner of the French Cup, but let's just assume that PSG are going to win it all because they're easily the one strongest team in the entirety of France. Otherwise, we could somehow not just get Europa Conference, maybe Europa League, but I'm not getting too far ahead of myself. We have 12 games left in the season, and one of those happens to be against PSG. Now, since the last episode as well, we have made some more transfers. 4 more players have come in, and I think only 1 player has actually left. So we're going to go through the player who has left. Issa Diop, who left, our 31-year-old former French centre-back. He's left for Sassuolo in Italian Serie A. We got £4 million for him, which for a 31-year-old is not too bad. Yeah, it's a loss, but that's the previous regime who bought him. And for £4 million for a player who barely played for this club at all, yeah, it's decent business, and he's not going to be a long-term solution for us anyway. I know he's good at heading, he's very tall, but £4 million, we could reinvest that, and that's exactly what we have done since Diop has actually left. So first up, we did get in a free centre-back to cover Diop for the rest of the season. We do have another centre-back coming in the summer already. More on that in probably the next episode. But for now, Anders Bartelsen, a Danish 27-year-old centre-back who is in as cover. I say that, I accidentally brought him in on an important player, so he's probably going to end up not very happy very, very soon. But until then, he'll just be cover. He has played a couple of games so far, but only as a substitute. 3-star current ability. Obviously, nothing more in potential. He's 27 years old. He's not going to improve. But he sits behind Danso and Medina as the best centre-backs, as well as Sebastian Vegas, but he's more of a left-back anyway. So he's our 3rd best centre-back at the club. He'll get some game time. He just needs to settle in. Also, we bought in Denis Meachi, who you're not going to see for a long time because he's just in our 2nd team here at Lens, and then he'll probably go out next season. He's an 18-year-old Argentinian right-back. We couldn't put him in the squad anyway. We've got too many players classed as foreigners. We can only have 4 of them in our squad for League On, and we've completely filled those out anyway, so he's just going to be playing here. He's been playing for the B team way down in the National 2 League, so he can stay there until we get sent out on loan next season. But he looks like he's worth quite a lot of money. How much did we get him for? We got him for free. Nice. So develop him a bit, sell him on, make a bit of money. That's what we need to do here at Lens in order to make sure that we have some money coming in. Out of that £4 million that we made for Diop, we've invested £2 million of that into Carmine Varchetta, an Italian 20-year-old central midfielder who is apparently wanted already. Oh, he's wanted on loan. Fair enough. He's not going on loan the rest of the season anyway. He's currently 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. Beat off quite a few clubs around our sort of level to get him. So very happy we got him. He's someone who's going to be playing back up to Junior Onana for the rest of the season. He can play in that central midfield role that we're now using within our tactic. And yeah, he's going to have some developing to do. Physically very good, technically not that great, and mentally he's okay for a 20-year-old. He's got some very good teamwork and work rate on him. That's what I look for in my players. And finally, we got ourselves a backup left back, Adria Pedrosa, who is on loan from Espanyol for the rest of the season. He is, oops, wrong one, 3.5-star capability player. Won't be improving because he's like 29 years old, but he's still younger than Sebastian Vega. Although saying that, why is he on left wing back? There you go. He's not going to be the same level as Sebastian Vegas, but he's still going to be our backup at left back because Ferreira is our right back and Medina is a centre back. I think you could just about, see him behind my head. But overall, very happy with the signings that we made. He's also a big match player and consistent performer. Mentally, physically, and technically, he's an all-rounder. So, as a backup for what we need at left back, I'm pretty happy with that. So overall, we've given ourselves a bit more squad depth for this season, for the rest of this season, which is exactly what we needed. I did improve the squad depth with a cup run in the French Cup in mind, but that's obviously not going to happen now, so it's a bit of a shame. But we move. We have ourselves, hopefully, a European chase that we're actually going to be unexpectedly in this season, depending obviously how today's episode goes. But first up, our first game against relegation threatened Metz, and this is going to be the 11 that we're going to send out. I'll come to the actual tactic in a moment. Dennis Simon is in goal, back four Vegas, Medina, Danso and Ferreira with Raul Lopez. Why do I call him Raul? I keep thinking he's Raul Lopez. He's Rene Lopez. Good God. He's going to be playing as half-back at the base of the midfield. With Renningen Jorgensen, our other new signing as well. Went through him in the last episode. In fact, we saw him get an assist in the last episode. He's still been pretty solid ever since, with Junior Onana alongside him. Miguel Rodriguez is in place of the injured Jolson Fernandez. He should be back for the PSG game. Steven Vega, who Rene Lopez is in place of, he should be back for the PSG game as well. Openda and Girotti are the two strikers up front. As you can see, we've had a change of tactic, which we're still getting used to, but I feel plays more to the team's strengths in some respects. Yes, we have a wing back on attack on the right hand side. Should I put him on support or should I put him on... We'll leave him on attack and probably put him on support for the PSG game. But Ferreira will be expected to get up and down this right hand side. Obviously in place of no winger on the right hand side, with Openda and Girotti as the two men up front. Girotti is expected to be pushing forward and on the shoulder of the last man of the opposing defence. Openda, as a deep line forward, he'll be the link between the midfield and attack, and he drops in very nicely, as does Miguel Rodriguez or Jolson Fernandez, whoever plays there normally. So we've effectively got about 5 or 6 players in the midfield and hopefully just swamp the opposition. As a result, we would have a space at the back, obviously with no fullback on the right hand side. That's why Lopez or Vega, who normally plays there, but Lopez will be expected to drop in between the two centre-backs as a half-back, which is exactly what I want from him. So that way we always have 3 or 4 players who are back, especially if Vegas at left-back just comes up into midfield and assists Miguel Rodriguez. He does overlap as well. So you should have 3 players back at all times. That is the hope anyway, as Varchetta actually needs a squad number. We'll just give him the number 9 just because I don't really pay attention to squad numbers very often. If they end up being like number 91, I'm not going to care. The only thing I'm not liking at the moment is that we're not that direct when it comes to actually playing the ball. We keep passing it around between each other, but then the opposition usually just end up nicking the ball off of us and countering, which has resulted in goals, such as the match against Metz in the French Cup. As you can see, Metz are bottom of the league, 12 points. We want 3 points from them, because after this we have the horror task of playing PSG. Even though it's at home, I still don't know the full PSG squad. We are going to be having a look at them. I can already see they've got Musiala and Mane. Is that Sadio Mane as Oh god, Jorgensen's already injured. What the hell? We don't want him injured for the next game. So, Adley is going to have to come on. It's a knee injury, which I don't really want to aggravate. Football Manager 23 has a nasty habit of just aggravating these injuries if you don't take care of the players. And so far, it's nearly half hour into the game, and we've not had a single highlight. Very quiet starts. I would rather have got a couple of early goals and then just try and cruise into the rest of the game, but apparently that's not what is happening. We just encourage the lads because we're coming up on half time, as we do have a corner here. Miguel Rodriguez plays the ball in, and it's just been cleared out, but as far as Rodriguez again. Openda into Adley, and Adley slams one home for his first goal of the season. You see what I mean? Openda was very deep here. He wasn't even in the box, and he just plays the ball off to Adley, who is sitting in that Mazzala role. I completely forgot to say, midfielders now, we're playing a Mazzala on attack, someone who's going to get into the box as late as possible. And then Junior Onana will be a central midfielder, so he'll be in attack and defence. And he's been very effective there so far. He's been easily the best player on this team since I've even arrived at the club. And we go in 1-0 at half time. I wanted a goal, and that's exactly what we have got. I'm going to pump some fists. Things are going well. I know you're capable of better. I mean, we are. We didn't even see many highlights in that game. It's clearly been a very dogged game so far, but you'd expect nothing less from Metz. They're obviously fighting for their lives. And then I don't know how we're going to deal with PSG. Wing back, João Ferreira, if I can get his name out, on wing back support maybe. He is tired already, actually. He'll probably have to come off for Sam Curtis, who is sitting on the bench. Curtis has played a few games, but we're just trying to bed him in at the moment. It's really just Dennis Simon who's been getting a lot more game time, as Lopez goes for the shots, and it is all the way over. There are a few tired players now. 75. God, we're 75 minutes in. How quick has this game gone? I mean, I can't complain. We're going to see a couple of the new boys, though. Curtis is coming on at right back, and then we're going to have Varchetta, who's in as that central midfielder. I did say he is going to be the backup to Junior Onana. We are going to see Soto coming on in that deep line forward role. Openda can be the man who plays forward because Chivotti's just had a bad game. He's not really in form at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. Wait, what? Oh no, no, no. I just subbed him as well. Please don't let that be a long-term injury. That is cruel. I was subbing him as well. FM, why did you have to do that to me? That was just cruel. There was no need for that. Come on. Shot just wide there from Metz, but I'm just in despair. We subbed him. He was coming off anyway. That was just cruel. And he's probably going to be... That's a big, big miss now for the next match. Aganu is going to come on at left back, and Danso is going to come off for Bartelson. As sorry, why is Ferreira still on? I brought on Curtis. What is wrong with this game? Why is it so broken half the time? I had made the subs, and now it's saying that these subs hadn't actually gone through. What is wrong with this match engine? I actually hate it. I really do. I don't like harping on about it, but when it does stuff like that, it makes me just question what I'm actually playing. We did get the win, but now we are going to struggle badly against PSG. I think we were going to struggle anyway, but without Junior Onana, ooh, it's not looking pretty, is it? Oh. I mean, it's not season ending. Oh, for God's sake. Right, that's a problem. That's two of our best midfielders out. What a time to play PSG then. So we have a bit of a crisis in central midfield now. We've got three central midfielders who are all injured. Jorgensen and Onana we knew of already. Abdul Samed is now out with a damaged foot. He's going to be out for up to 2 weeks. And all three of them are only 2 to 3 week injuries. But we've got to play PSG right now. So all the big changes in the squad are from midfield all the way into attack. Vega is back in defensive midfield, so Raul Rene Lopez. Can I please learn his name? Rene Lopez drops to the bench. He's our only midfielder on the bench. Adli and Varchetta will be ahead of Vega. Adli is a Mazzala. I've played him there before. That's absolutely fine. Varchetta, well, this is his first start. This is going to be very interesting for him. I mean, it's not the guy's fault. He's only 20 years old. I didn't expect to start him against PSG. Just go out there and try and surprise us pleasantly, preferably. Fernandez is also back from injury on the left wing, so Miguel Rodriguez goes up front as a deep line forward, with Openda playing as the pressing forwards. Girotti is dropping to the bench because he's not actually been in that great form in the past couple of games. In fact, the last 3 games probably explains it. So we're just going to drop him onto the bench and just see if that will just spur him to finally get back to some good form that he was showing in January, because he was scoring goals for fun, he was assisting. He's not doing that as much now, and I don't have any hope for him against PSG. Even though he's supposed to be the best striker at the club, I still like Openda a little bit more. I don't know, I just have a preference, to be honest. Right, PSG, let's go and have a look at their squad as well. So obviously we know what ours is. 3 wins in the last 5. Might be reversed today. PSG. Oh my god. Okay, there's quite a lot of names I recognise there. No surprise that they're running away at the top of League On. I mean, that's just like real life, isn't it? They're just doing the very same thing that they're doing nowadays. Let's just have a quick look at their overall scores, just in case. Oh, it's just behind my head. In fact, can I just... We're the only latest score at the moment anyway. So let's just have a look. PSG. Here we are. So, I'm not mentioning any names. I'm not going to bother even with that. But there's a lot of names that you can recognise there. It's basically Wonder Kid Central. It's Wonder Kid and best player in the world Central. That's exactly what it is. And I'm terrified of that. We have to try and overcome this in the long run. Openda just making mincemeat of their left back. As we have ourselves a highlight after just 1 minute 14. Go on, let's at least have a shot on goal. Let's just see if we can at least test Donnarumma in their goal. Never mind, we just give the ball away. That's exactly what's going to happen. And that's exactly what has been happening. Oh, well done by Vega there. Very well won, but we're just not that direct with the ball. It's getting stupid. Just pass it off. Trying to create space, granted, but there's no space because it's PSG. There is Openda. We've gone 1-0 up after just 2 minutes, and it is Loris Openda. And I was right to drop Girotti. He wouldn't have done that at the moment because he's not in the form. Openda can play either side of the front two, and it shows. He's finally beating the offside trap as well. Saying that, I need to get that trait on him. I need to have him being trained at beating the offside trap. He is very quick. He's a very fast striker. He's also decently strong. I absolutely love him. 1-0 against PSG, and we have 88 minutes to hold on. This game actually hates me at this point. I'm convinced of it. Just... why? What? We're not doing anything different in training. So why the constant injuries? I mean, I've improved the squad depth for saying that. They've been playing a lot of games this season. This is our best starting 11, minus obviously Onana and Jorgensen, who are not around at the moment. And that's a goal. Stupid. Simon should have jumped for that. He is tall enough. And that's the good times over. That's the good times over. The whole point of this game was to see if we could compete against PSG or how far behind them we are. Oh, it took a deflection. It wasn't even a lob over, so Simon probably got fooled by that. What is with the injuries? That's 3 injuries in 2 games. I'm actually not even pushing them that hard in training. I am following the physio's advice of who to put on double intensity, who to put half intensity, normal intensity. Go on, Jolson, just have a shot. Adli. Oh, I think that was off the post. That's so close. We've had a good couple of chances though. It's not as if we've been absolutely terrible in this first half, which I'll absolutely take. Vega, Varchetta into Adli. We carve open as many chances as possible. There is Girotti. Oh, Girotti should have scored. It was straight at the goalkeeper. There is Vachetta. Oh, he almost grabbed his first goal. But no, unfortunately, PSG are on the counter-attack and we just win the ball back. Very, very nice. Vachetta. Rodriguez, he just lost the ball there, didn't he? Oh, it's so, so close. PSG with a free kick. It has been cleared as far as Vachetta. Play it out. Yes. Into Fernandez. Rodriguez. Play it forward. Play it forward. Thank you. Jolson is free. Adley. Vegas. Vachetta. Have a shot, man. Oh, he tested the keeper, though. I'll tell you what. Vachetta as a central midfielder, he's impressed me so far. Very well done. We have a corner. Miguel Rodriguez into Girotti. It is clear as far as Adley. Play it back in. We played it over to Rodriguez. There are a few players in the box. Oh, that's Donnarumma's having such a good game. We actually could have been 2 or 3-1 up by now. That's the crazy thing. We could have been 2 or 3-1 up. If it was Openda who hadn't got injured, we might have actually scored those. Fernandez, Jolson Fernandez plays it in. No, Girotti is just wide. We're having the chances. We should be taking them though. And I'll tell you what, keep that up in the second half. That's a very good performance. We've somehow, so far, out XG PSG. Now, stamina-wise, I would put PSG down as the favourites. Oh my god, what's the chances we could sign Donnarumma? How would you like to be a backup to Dennis Simon? As there's Mbappe's in here, Mbappe doesn't miss, does he? I'm not even disappointed at that because Mbappe is just stupidly overpowered. He's not going to miss those chances. I have actually taken charge of France previously and won a World Cup with them. Guess who was the main man for France? The guy who just scored here. I'm not surprised at all. There's no point trying to mark him as well. Our players are absolutely not going to be anywhere near quick enough to keep up with him. It's him and Haaland who are amazingly unplayable. Just amazingly unplayable. Ball played around nicely. Vegas on the overlap. Just wish he would actually cross the ball in. Just stop messing around with it. Just cross it in. Don't be stupid. And just play the ball into the box. I hate the fact that we're not direct and it's going to cost us, I mean, it costs us against anyone, let alone against a team like PSG. As Musiala is in here and Simon finally makes a save. He's been very hit or miss since he's actually joined the club. He's too eccentric for my liking, but I'm just going to put it down to the fact he's still getting used to the sweeper keeper role we're asking him to play. Curtis is going to come on, God help us, at right back. I like Curtis, but he's still settling in as well. That's going to be the only change we're going to make for the moment. I'm not doing wholesale changes against PSG right now. I think that's the silly thing to do. You don't want to upset the squad too much. Well, saying that, we are absolutely getting tired with 16 minutes to go. I told you PSG are going to have the stamina. Midfielders, oh my god, what do we even do here? We're going to have to bring Pedrosa on. And we are going to have to... Oh god, do I even want to throw in Rene Lopez? Vega's actually not having that good of a game, to be fair. So you know what? We're going to try out Rene Lopez. Him and Vachetta. 2 young players in our central midfield. Potentially the future. I mean, Varchetta's done okay. I will give him that. He has actually done okay. Girotti is already knackered. Do we have Soto on the bench? I think Soto is on the bench. Yeah, he is. Oh. What? 4 subs? Hang on a minute, will we get 5 normally? All available stoppages have been used. Oh god, yeah. Because Openda got injured earlier. That's an annoyance. That is an annoyance. We can't bring Soto on, so unfortunately this is going to be the squad. We are very, very tired. As Jolson Fernandez and Adley just absolutely mugged him. And Girotti is through here. Oh, he just blasted it. This is the best striker in our squad, by the way. No, he is not. Openda is. And do you know what? We could have easily won that, I think. Yeah, they out-XG'd us in the end. Their second half they took over. But it's not that far off, is it? I think had Openda stayed on the pitch, we might have had a draw, maybe. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy with that performance. We didn't have our full strength lineup out there. We lost Openda to injury. We didn't have Jorgensen or Onana. And we had an out of form Girotti playing most of that match. I'm not too disappointed. Okay, 2 to 3 weeks. Pulled calf muscle. Yikes. Okay. That's a bit of a shame. He is going to be missing in the Monaco match, though, in March. He should be back, though, for after the international break. We only have 10 games left, though, now. And we are still in the hunt for Europe as it stands, which is excellent. So I think what we're going to do, we're just going to get a bunch of games out of the way and come back right at the end of the season. We will come back earlier if we're still in the hunt for Europe and we're able to secure a European slot. But other than that, Troyes and Marseille will be the 2 games to round off this season on Friday. If you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button so you don't miss the end to the season and a possible European hunt that we have coming up. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for your support on the series so far. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode.